Number 3 is charge. Charge is very different. It looks very different graphically than a term-based loan. Actually, it's a circle. There's no real beginning and there's no real end. And sometimes it's called revolving credit, and that's how credit cards work. It took me until I was actually in my mid-30s to really understand how credit cards work and how they calculate charges. I'll just tell you the story. So I was traveling a lot back then, and the way that you do it with a business is when you travel, you put those expenses on your credit card, and then once you get you back from your trip, you put an expense report together, send it into your employer, and then that's what pays for your expenses. But in the meantime, your credit card bill may come due. Well, I was traveling a whole lot one month, and I got this big old credit card bill in the mail. It was $7,200. Well, actually, it was $7,200.06, okay? So I'm like, oh my gosh, this credit card's at 20% interest. I don't want to pay, 20% interest on a $7,200 balance. So I kind of scrimped and saved and came up with a way that I could pull this money together, and I write them this check. And well, this was back in the old days when we actually used to write checks, yes. So I write them this check, and it's $7,200.06. Well, I got kind of sloppy with my writing, and my 6 on the end ended up looking like a 0. And so they cashed the check for $7,200 even. Now back then they used to send your checks back to you. So I get the check back and I look at it and I say, oh, wow, they cashed the check for $7,200 even. I'm 6 cents short. Whoopee. Who cares? I owe them 6 cents. What are they going to do? Charge me a penny in interest? I got my next month's statement in the mail, and they had charged me nearly $200 in interest and penalties. And I called them up on the phone and I said, what in the world? How can you charge me almost $200 in interest on a balance of 6 cents? And they said, Mr. Burnett, you don't understand how credit cards work. And I said, well, explain it to me then. She said, okay. She said, when you signed the contract, it said in there that if you don't pay your balance in full, we don't care. We don't care if you owe us $7,200 or if you only owe us 6 cents. You didn't keep up your end of the deal. And if you don't keep up your end of the deal, we go back. We go back in time to the beginning of the billing period. And she said, I can see in here that you charged a $1,000 plane ticket on the first day of the month. We charged you 20% interest on that plane ticket from the first day of the month to the last day of the month. I said, lady, I sent you $7,200. Take $1,000 of it and pay off the plane ticket. She said, I will not. That's not how credit cards work. That's not how revolving credit works. See, I thought I would only have to pay interest on the outstanding balance. No. You pay interest retroactively back to the beginning of the billing period. That's why when you make the decision that you need something, but you don't have the money to pay for it, you then make the giant leap that you're going to go out and get it on credit. Okay? Let's say the next generation of iPad comes out and you have to have it, but you don't have any money. So you then go get a credit card and go down to wherever you buy your iPads and you hand them the credit card at 18% interest and you say, I want the iPad. And so you come home with your brand new iPad and you show it to all your friends and you're the coolest thing with the newest technology on the block. Everything is great. Until 30 days later when you get this statement in the mail. And the statement says, balance due, $500. Well, you didn't have $500 30 days ago, so chances are you're not going to have $500 now. So what are you going to do? Well, there's going to be another box that's going to say, minimum payment due, $10. And you're going to go, oh yeah, now we're talking. $10? I can do $10. So you write them a check for $10. And the credit card company gets your check and they smile the biggest smile that they could possibly smile. Because they just made more money off of you than if you'd have sent them the full $500. Actually, if you'd have sent them the full $500, they wouldn't have made any money off you. They'd have made money off the merchant, but not off of you. But they're going to then take that $10 and add what you owe them in interest on that card. And at 18%, that's going to come to about $7.50. boom, that money's gone. That's their money. So what's left over is $2.50. So then 30 days later, you're going to get another statement in the mail, and it's going to say, balance due, $497.50. And you're going to be a little confused because you sent them $10, but you still don't have $49,750, so what difference does it make? You write them another check for $10. They get the check, they smile, they take their $750, they apply the rest. 30 days later, you get another statement in the mail that says balance due, $495. And now you're like going, wait a minute, I've sent them $20 and I've only paid off $5. If you keep this up, if you keep making only the minimum payment, you're going to end up paying over $1,100 for that $500 iPad. Now, I would call that a bad financial investment. But you want to know what bothers me even worse than that, because I hate debt? Do you know how long it takes to pay off a $500 credit card at 18% interest if you only make the minimum payment? 9 years. You will be paying on an iPad that has long been thrown into a dumpster for 9 years. Okay, credit cards in and of themselves are not evil, but they are the single most dangerous financial tool that students can have in their possession, and they're getting in trouble with them all the time. Be careful.